QOTD, and you are watching the Question of the Day show, and today is the Big Show. It's the Thursday Big Show that we have once a week where we pick the best of all of your answers to our daily, weekly QOTD questions. I'm so excited to be here. This was a great week.
Great week.
Yeah. So every single day we've been releasing a new QOTD question of the day, and you guys who've been going over to BeOnTheAir.com have been clicking the big red orange, record button, recording your awesome answers. And then throughout the week, people have been voting and sending stars. And through all that, we've picked the best of the best. And so now what we're going to do is go through each question, the best answers you guys have voted. We're going to have a final vote, and whichever are our best answers, we'll make it to the final round. And then ultimately we'll have the single best, number one champion of the week QOTD question of the day. I'm very excited. I always look forward to the Thursday Big Show.
Same.
So Trish and JJ and Reid, you guys have a good week? Hello?
It's been a great week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, tell us about the week, shall we?
Ooh, you want to talk about this week's theme?
Oh, if you would, yes.
Yeah, let's do it. We are riding the F train today, folks. We've had some fabulous filming of our favorite animals, followed by fortune telling, fantasy fighting, foreplay, and funky food.
That's a freaking amazing theme. Thank you.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So,
Wow. You want to get started?
I would love to. Now we know where we're going. Let's get there.
All right, let's get there. Our first question this week was, what celebrity would you want on your zombie apocalypse survival squad?
Yeah.
Well, I decided that I know everybody wants like the toughest guy or like the most physically fit squad, but I'm going to take a business approach to surviving the apocalypse. I want a strategist and a team leader. I want like the Bill Gates who says, look, this is the overall picture and the best way to go about achieving the goal, which is of course staying alive. And then I want my team leader like the Jack Black, let's say, who can really rally the troops and just effectively convey the objective, like run.
Yeah. Jack Black is famous for that. And in most of his movies, he's the team leader, such as in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Where he destroys everything that the team is doing. But I get where you're going.
Yeah. You're hoping for more of a School of Rock Jack Black than a Kung Fu Panda or Tropic Thunder Jack Black.
Yeah, though he comes through in Kung Fu Panda. Yeah.
Good point. All three movies, he's a pretty key part of the world's success.
Well, and who could be better in a zombie apocalypse? Because he has another benefit, by the way, which is that probably any of us could run faster than Jack Black.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't underestimate him.
Jack Black, he's got determination and grit.
Oh yeah.
True.
He's a tenacious D, yes.
That he is. Well, I think we have some answers coming in from viewers, so let's see what they have to say about who they're bringing on to their zombie apocalypse survival squad for strategy or just pure survival skills.
The celebrity I want helping me in a zombie apocalypse would 100% have to be Keanu Reeves. Have you seen that man in John Wick? His fighting style, he knows how to use guns, he knows how to do everything. Plus, in real life, he's a pretty good person, so I know he would help me a lot.
Yeah, he would help us be excellent to one another.
For the zombie apocalypse, I would choose Zac Efron as my right-hand man. I've loved him since High School Musical, Disney era. I love him now. He can do literally anything. I think he would be a great sidekick, so I definitely have him on my team.
He's good. You can bet on it.
I haven't really followed him since High School Musical.
Is that even a question? Benedict Cumberbatch. He's literally everything.
So we're just picking hot guys.
Yeah, but unlikely superhero, right?
I would want Bernie Sanders on my team. I think he would be able to help us form some sort of government or structure, as well as provide wisdom and insight on how to overcome a mob of heathens. I don't know. I just like Bernie Sanders.
top of my list too, for sure.
The 99% of zombies versus the 1%
But I
of
would
humans.
want Dwayne Johnson in my team if any apocalypse is to happen because, well, he's built different.
She's like making a sandwich. She's talking about the apocalypse.
She's not worried about it. She's got Dwayne Johnson. What she have to worry
Dwayne The
about?
Rock Johnson on my zombie apocalypse squad. He's very big. He can move objects. If we ever get stuck, he could probably take a few zombies. And end of the day, I feel like I could outrun him if need be. And he'll probably keep the zombies filled up for a little bit.
I think he'd be very tough. I don't think the zombies would appreciate him. Not like a tender little guy like you, Round Quinn. Well, folks, it is time for us to vote. There are blue buttons on the bottom of your screen if you're on BeOnTheAir.com. If you're watching us on Twitch or on YouTube, you can click the links that are in the chat. That'll take you to the screen where you can vote, and your vote will determine who wins this round. So, like I say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Vote for one of these guys. Could be Keanu Reeves, Zac Efron, Benedict Cumberbatch, the great Bernie Sanders, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, for both Sujana and for Quinn H. So let's vote. Who do you agree with? Who do you love?
I love Bernie Sanders. That answer is so funny.
It is. Bernie Sanders does not get as much airplay these days as he deserves. He's still there in the Senate, making trouble. Him and AOC.
Fighting zombies.
Yeah.
Oh, the sandwich girl.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, if you're going to have anybody, I think when the going gets tough, I want The Rock.
Exactly. There's so many good reasons. And he also seems like very casual. Right? He seems like a person you could get along with. Because in the end, you're stuck with these, 3 people, 6 people, 8 people, whatever the size of your squad is, forever. I mean, and even if you run into another survival squad, you guys are going to fight. There's not going to be any friendship there. So you got to get along. And I have a rule that's I can't be with any group of people for more than 3 days. That's the rule limit. Like Vegas, 2 nights, 1 day, going out to the beach, maybe 3 nights, 1 day, So zombie apocalypse is going to be a long time. They got to be people that you can hang out with. And I got a feeling Dwayne The Rock Johnson is somebody that would be you'd be okay.
Plus, apparently, according to Quinn, if you do need to, you could outrun him, which I don't quite believe. But
it depends on the distance, I think. I'm not outrunning anybody. Possibly Trish.
I can't outrun anyone. I'm dead. I would just throw myself on the ground.
And you guys would destroy me.
Well, should we move on to our second QOTD for this week? It is all about virtual school. We wanted to know, would you enroll your kids in full-time online school? And is it the future of education?
It's a funny question. So, because first off, having gone through this, 4 kids in the house during lockdown, I definitely want them out of the house. I don't want you around, love you, but I'll see you at 3 p.m., and then also for people who you got 2 parents working, you kind of need that, because let's face it, our schools have become sort of daycare. They become a lot of things in addition to school. But if we're talking about just education, where are you going to get the best learning? This whole factory system of education is only about 150 years old. Prior to the great land grab, the Western expansion of the United States, we didn't really do that kind of thing. People were either educated by their parents or by their school and community. People put it together. So I'm not saying that what we're doing isn't better than what they did in 1820, but I'm just saying that it's not the only solution, and that our current solutions are they're just okay. They do not serve everyone. Our education is very uneven, and part of it has to do with the cost. Online education has the opportunity to be much cheaper and to take the best educators and the best resources and make them available to everybody all at once, in the same way that everybody can watch Survivor all at once. Imagine that we all had to go to a classroom in order to get our great reality entertainment. It would be very hard to deliver that uniformly.
Wait, but you said that, and then I suddenly just imagined a reality TV show-esque TV program, except it's school.
Exactly. How great would that be? Right? It would be like Schoolhouse Rock with songs, right? Because you could invest in each day's class, because there'd be 100 million kids watching it, right? Every day could be just an amazing entertainment. We could start that right now. You ready, guys? When 2 males go walking, the first does the talking, right? We could make rhymes. We can make a game show.
Perfect. Yeah, I think this idea is going to be our big break. Aside from this one.
All right, hold on a second. I got to go take notes.
Well, while we're getting ready to take notes and put out our new hit show, I think we have some answers coming in from fans. So let's see what they have to say about virtual school and whether or not they stole our idea.
Will you enroll your kids in full-time online school? Is it the future of education? Personally, I will not enroll my kids in online school full-time because, well, however, it have some pros and cons of online schooling, but for me, one thing, and this plays a big part in like the personal development of a child, is like social physical interaction, because I believe like it will teach you to like have a better understanding of people and their like how to understand people's emotions and different types of people and how to deal with them as you go along in life. So like you will have a better understanding of, you know, how to interact with people if all they understand what I'm trying to say, and it will just have a better impact on your future, knowing, you know, how to interact with people physically.
Yeah, fortunately, people don't interact online at all. That's not an important skill.
By the time I have kids in the future, I believe that classes will be going back to their traditional way of going into classrooms. So I don't think that there is a reason why I should enroll my future kids in a full-time online school. So I believe also that online school is not the future of education, because online school is difficult. As a student who experienced online school, I can say that learning outside of classroom and in online school is very different and is difficult. So yeah.
That's certainly true. We're not very good at this thing. Yeah.
Not yet.
Yes, if I ever have any kids, I would definitely enroll them in full-time online school. I think that's the future. You don't got to deal with any other kids bullying or fighting or anything like that. I think online school would be the best. They get their education done. You know, you can feed them their lunch that you want to give them and stuff like that. So yes, definitely, online school is the future.
Very good points.
Yes, but it's a double-edged sword. You're going to have to go make them lunch now.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they can get education. There are definitely other ways to get the social aspect fulfilled and ways you can fulfill life socially online. It's just a matter of people being able to like meet needs at home in order to do so. And I typically work from home already at this point. I don't think I'll ever have kids, but if I were to, I wouldn't mind having them enrolled in online school, because I know I could meet demands needed for the rest of their life at home or in the community. I don't know. I think people who, scoff at online schooling can't meet needs at home. Sometimes that's completely valid. They cannot afford to. They can't always be home. But I think a lot of the times it's just people don't want to have their kids at home, which is...
Yeah, don't have kids, yeah. Wisdom. And those are the problems we should solve.
I wouldn't be enrolling my kids into full-time online schools in the future. You know why? They still need that physical human interaction. They still need to physically interact with other kids, their school teacher and their school, every staff in their school, everything. They still need that relationship with other people that is not virtual. I wouldn't be enrolling them into a full-time online school.
Where will they learn how to take drugs? That's a good point.
Would I enroll my kids in full-time online school, and is it the future of education? Unfortunately, I think it may be the future of education, hopefully not in my lifetime, but I definitely would not be enrolling my kids in online school. I'd be sending them out there into the big wide world. It's the only way you learn, life experiences.
Right. Good job. School's a waste of time. If you're a ping pong champion. Well, there were some unexpected answers in there. We actually came down 3-3. So your vote is going to be the determining one, as always. So it's time for us all to vote. There are blue buttons on your screen if you are watching us on maybe YouTube, maybe Twitch. There are links in the chat that can take you to a page where you can vote. And when you vote, you determine the winner that's going to show up in the show in like 45 seconds or something like that. So mash one of those blue buttons and let us know what you think. Wow. Yes. Online school. But so, yeah, Brendan kind of said it right, which is like, hey, I don't want it, but I think that might be the future because there's a necessity for it. That's kind of what I heard him say. But then he said, and if that's the case, I'm sending my kids to go off and learn a craft, which is, that's what I understood. I kind of read between the lines.
Extracurriculars in person.
Yeah, just like, well, there's that. Like, I'm going to go join the junior baseball league, but also maybe what he was saying.
Oh, Mishak.
Mishak says NFW. No.
So no is the winner.
94%. That's pretty resounding.
Yeah.
I
think nothing can replace that face-to-face interaction. Screen to screen just isn't quite the same.
Yeah. As a person who went through online school for a year and then I am also like, I kind of agree. We're not like quite there yet. And so currently, probably not.
So you just grasp those buggy whips with both hands and don't let go.
Moving on. Our next QOTD that we had for this week was about dreams coming true. We wanted to know if you ever had a dream while sleeping that later came true.
I had a weird moment of clairvoyance one time. I was in college and I had a dream that my laptop broke. And I woke up and my roommate like kind of jolted awake and her laptop fell off of her bed and the case fell off, but it looked like the whole thing had split in half. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I had the dream. But thankfully her laptop was fine, but we both it was like 8 a.m. and we both just looked at each other like, this could be really bad. Let's assess it slowly.
That is just spooky.
It was I was like, that is so weird because I wouldn't have that thought too. I guess, sometimes your fears manifest.
Here's the thing is that maybe we're all having dreams all the time that are prescient, but I don't remember most of my dreams, like past a few seconds after I wake up. Like, who knows? Maybe last night I dreamt that my daughter was going to like want to have an outrageously expensive wedding. Who knows?
Lately, mine have been very vivid, so I wake up and I can't remember if that's something that actually happened or not. They're just uncanny enough that I'm like, it was just a weird day.
This is the universe speaking to you, Reid. Pay attention.
What is it saying?
It depends on what you dreamt about.
Stop going on TikTok before bed. It's messing with you.
That's what the universe is saying. These things are legal now, recreationally in our state, but not good before there's I totally, I don't know why, because I try to be a person of science, but like when I have a dream like that, I pay attention. I had a dream that I was going to die at the age of 34, and I almost did. But maybe it was that dream that like made me pay attention at that moment.
Maybe, yeah. Dreams are warnings sometimes. Sometimes it's like a broken clock where it's like sometimes you dream about weird things, but then that one time you don't. It's suddenly very important.
Chills. Well, what did the people say?
Yeah, let's see. Well, I have some fan answers pouring in from people, of course, so let's see what they have to say. I will say, as a person who has extremely wild dreams that are never based in reality, this question is very interesting. Let's see what people have to say if they have very realistic dreams.
Did you ever have a dream while sleeping that later came true? I don't think like big ones that I can remember, but I have had those small instances of like deja vu, where it's like I'll touch a wall or something or be like doing some really specific behavior. And then, later, whether it's that week, that day, or, a couple months after, I'll find myself doing that exact thing in that place that I hadn't been to. So in a small way, I guess it's come true, but in large part, no.
You should be working on remembering the rest of your dream. right?
I
If you can
don't
remember.
think this has ever happened to me, and honestly, my dreams are a bit extravagant and a bit crazy. So I don't think I'd want any of them to come true. I remember quite a lot of my dreams, and I do get deja vu a lot, but I don't think any of them have ever come true, no.
Yet.
Yo, I have dreams like that all the time, and I'm starting to think I'm psychic. Not starting to think. I've thought this for a while, but I really believe that I'm psychic because I will have those dreams, and it may not happen that same day or even that same week, but give it 2 or 3 months from that point, from that dream, and it'll happen, and I'll remember it, and I'm like, whoa, I dreamed this entire scenario. I know. So I kind of knew that this would happen, and it's weird. It's kind of like a weird deja vu, and I think that's where deja vu comes from. It's because we have those dreams that are so real, so vivid, that once you have those dreams, and once you go throughout life, and you actually see your dreams come true, it's like, man, I've lived this. I know I did this before. And so, yeah, they can definitely come true.
Psychic.
Done.
A lot of deja vu today.
The other night, I had a dream where I reached into my pocket and I pulled out a $20 bill. And then the next day I woke up and I was so mesmerized by that dream of just pulling out money I didn't know I had, that I ransacked my bedroom looking for stray cash that I had just left over the years. And like after a certain amount of like looking, you do find stray cash. And I found that, and I knew that my dream had told me where to look. And then I was $80 richer.
Self-fulfilling prophecy or actual prophecy?
$80?
Well, most of my life I've had very vivid and terrifying dreams sometimes. So I'm kind of glad that none of them have come true, because they literally have sometimes felt like a trip down the rabbit hole. It's been a little weird. I'm glad none of them have come true, because a lot of them I would need therapy for if they came true, because dreaming them was enough. However, I did and still do have recurring dreams that my dog dies or runs away or gets stolen, because she's my best friend, and no, that isn't sad. However, one time I did have one that was so vivid that I woke up crying, and that wasn't fun. And then my dog in real life ran out of our front door and tried to get back across the street and almost got hit by a car. Almost didn't. And now I am terrified, because that's the closest to one of them ever coming true.
See, that sounded like she said no, but it sounded like a
Other than
yes.
that, I don't think the one about my mom becoming a green witch has come true yet. Yes.
Sometimes you have to decode these a little bit, Hannah.
There's still time.
I've had a dream where my grandmom died. On waking up, my grandmom was seriously ill. She died 5 days after.
Oh. We got a lot of yeses. We got a shocking number of yeses. I thought people were going to say nah, but we really not even. We got one no. Kaylee says she said no, but everybody else kind of had a sort of a yes. Well, I don't know, guys. What do you think? Let's vote for one of these answers. Who did you find inspiring, or whose story like gave you chills? Vote for them by clicking on the blue button that's on the bottom of your screen, and you can see that button. Like I say, across the bottom of the screen in what we call the widget drawer, or if you're on YouTube or Twitch, there's a link in the chat that will send you right to that screen, and you can vote for one of these fine answers.
I do wonder if it's a chicken or the egg thing, where like we're worried about something that has its roots in reality, and then it becomes real, and the dream is like a little foreshadowing of that.
Yes. Certainly that seems to be the case, but nevertheless, we didn't say whether it was, a dream sent to you by elves. We just said, do you have dreams that came true? And so maybe we all have like sort of a more nuanced. Veronica.
Yeah.
Veronica, that was a spooky one.
It was a sad one.
It is. That's what I mean, though. It's like, well, maybe
she knew.
You're kind of fitting reality back into your dream in retrospect.
But so there's certainly that, and I could go on and on about that particular mechanism. But then there's the other thing. It's like maybe she just like sensed that her grandmother was not doing that well, and she was worried about her, and then she had the dream, which was based in her sort of like subliminal observations. Just like the dog running across the street, she's worried about it because she's got a stupid dog, you know? Like, no, I worry about that. But so then when it happens, because, you know, maybe you have that dream every day, and then one of those days is the day when, you know, it actually goes. But so anyway, it doesn't have to be completely mystical, you know, unless you have a dream about a lottery number, in which case I wish that you would text me. Right?
Well, it's very watching. Text us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dreams can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart.
Yeah. Well, interesting that Veronica had a vision of death, because that leads us into our next QOTD, which we wanted to know, if you could be told when you're going to die, would you want to know? And I'm going to say no to this. I think if you answer yes to this question, you're just not living your best life, or you're not being your best self. Because I know it would be fun to jump on a flight and go somewhere and do something that you never did before. But you know what, guys? You can arrange for that right now. You don't have to wait to hear that you're never going to have the opportunity again. I'm here to tell you right here now. You got one life. You got to live it for every day. Tell people that you love them, and get together with your friends and call your mother today.
Yeah.
I love that all. I also think if I was told when, I'd be really depressed.
Yeah.
Like, I just have that in the back of my mind. I couldn't have fun on my vacation. My death vacation? No.
This is it.
But let's just say you had limited resources, right? You got X dollars in the bank, and, you know, you're planning on saving that for, you know, going to grad school or something like that. But then you know that your death date is coming up soon. Then you might do something different with that. I'm all about the organization, about the administration.
You're being very clerical.
Yeah, I know, totally. It's so me. Whimsical me.
Well, I think we have some answers coming in from fans. Let's see what they have to say. I think we all have different opinions on this, so let's see who they side with on this big debate.
Wow. I already live life like I'm going to die soon. So, no, I wouldn't want to know when, because I think I make myself crazy with anxiety, trying to prepare for that moment. So yeah, no. And especially if I knew it was coming and then I saw how it was coming. Oh my God. No, I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
No, definitely not how.
No, 100% no. That's a huge fear for me, and I wouldn't want to have to live each day being like, oh no, am I going to fall down a pipe today? Like, I couldn't. I wouldn't be able to live knowing when that was going to happen. That's terrifying. No, I would not want to know. Please, I would not want to have to like mark my calendar. Like, absolutely not.
Did she say fall down a pipe?
If you could be told when you're going to die, will you want to know? Honestly, I will actually want to know. Yes, because I will know how to prepare myself to deal with my death. But that is inevitable, right? It comes to each of us at any point in time. So yeah, I will actually want to know.
I vote for yes. There we go.
He's a prepper.
Yeah. In a certain sense.
No, I will never want to be told when I'm going to die, because then you would worry about, I gotta do this before I die. I gotta do this. I gotta make sure I do this. Oh, I only have this amount of days to live. I don't want to know that. I just want to live every day like it's the last day. You're not always promised tomorrow, so live day by day. Accomplish what you want to accomplish while you're still here, and when you're ready to go, you go.
Yeah, Trish.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you could be told when you're going to die, would you want to know? Tough one. I'm gonna say yes, because my biggest regret would be if I died with money in the bank that I could have spent on holidays, doing whatever, and not being able to spend that money on food, going out, you name it, jet skis. So I'm going to say yes. I would like to know when I would be dying.
Andrew Carnegie said something similar to that. If you die with money in the bank, you're a loser.
Would I want to know when I'm going to die? That's a tough one. I would say probably yes. Probably yes. I don't plan on living a super long life anyway. So I'd love to be able to fit everything in nice and quickly. So if I knew that, I was going in 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time, I mean, it'd be scary, but I'd just fit everything I possibly could in and then see what happens from there. See how we go.
He's probably a surfer. I don't plan on living a long time. I'm just going to drop in on that big wave, dude. Well, we had, surprising to me anyway, we had 3, yeah, I want to know, and 3, nope, don't want to know. What do you guys think? Let's click on one of these blue buttons and tell us, through your votes, who do you agree with? Who did you find inspiring? Whose rationale did you find convincing? Misha's a nope. Becca's 100% no. Mishak is a yes. J. Ross, no thank you. Brendan and Patrick are both yes. Our friends down under are like, yeah, I want to know when I'm going. I need to know. For different reasons, though.
Yes.
Patrick's a thrill seeker. He's living life to the fullest.
Yeah. I do think it's interesting for Brendan. It's you got to know when to save, you got to know when to put your money into stocks or a Roth IRA, but you have to know when you take it out so you can actually use the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
2. Let's see. Oh, we have a winner coming in.
I'm 0 for 4 today. What I think that people are going to want, but that's fine.
Well, we are going right from the death march into a different kind of beat. We asked our fans this week, what is the best makeout album of all time?
Is that the transition is that in the last one, nobody makes it out alive, but now we're going to make it out.
Feeling better.
Yeah. It's all about having the right music, right? Something that makes you feel fudgy. Something that's romantic.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I mentioned the other day, Kali Uchis is my top pick. If you want specific albums.
Could you sing a song quickly? Could you give us a hum up?
Are you asking me to sing?
Yeah, Kali Uchis.
Oh no. Well, there is a song that she has called After the Storm. It's after the storms when the flowers bloom. That's it. That's
wow.
A little sneak peek.
Wow. Yeah. I am so sorry that we're all remote.
I know.
That was awesome.
I know. If I had known before, I would have prepped the whole stage, a whole setup. I would have had a costume. It would have been a whole performance. I would have broken it out. I think we have some. I think we have some answers.
Colleges.
Yes. Well, I think we have some answers coming in from fans, so let's see if any of them also mention Kali Uchis. I did mention the other day that I'm starting a list of albums for future reuse, so let's see what they have to recommend.
The best makeout album of all time is Montero, Lil Nas X. It just is. I really don't even know why I have to explain why. I think if you listen to it in order, you'll feel a lot of things. If you make out to it, you'll also feel a lot of things, and you'll understand. Montero.
The album all by itself is good enough. That's strong.
The best makeout album would have to be anything by Duckworth. His songs are super good, and they're just so romantic sometimes too. They have that vibe about them. Yeah, he writes a lot of romantic songs, and so I think any album by him, super good, was also a really good album that could be a really good makeout song album.
I think she's naked.
That's possible.
So 10 out of 10, it's hard to find an album because I feel like you need a mix of everything, but I would say Wildest Dreams by Majd Jordan. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he's done a couple songs with Drake too, and he's got a good style.
Definitely right. I think you need more of like a playlist than an album.
Big booty,
The one
right?
that comes to mind is that one 1975 album. I think it's something like I Love to Watch You When You Sleep. It's a creepy name, but there's a lot of good songs on it for making out with.
Oh, the seven.
On the top of my head, I will go with the album Evolution by Boyz II Men.
Okay.
There you go. Can't go wrong with Boyz II Men.
Yeah.
I'd say it's Crash Boom Bang by the Roxette, and I genuinely think that's one of the best romantic bands of all times. So yeah.
Wow, very high praise for this. The Roxette.
Definitely got some recommendations.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I hope you're adding these to your list. Guys, it's time for us to vote. And which of these delightful albums are you going to sort of throw your vote behind? Montero, Duckworth, Majd Jordan, I Love to Watch You Sleep. Thank you, Resurrex Warden, for that idea. Boyz II Men and Dasha, Crash Boom Bang. Which of these getting votes? Let's click on the blue button and vote for one of these people. And we'll send them to the final round because of their amazing answers. But I want to go back while we're waiting for the votes to come in to I Love to Watch You Sleep, because that's like in the, I guess the 80s or 90s, that might have sounded romantic.
Well, here, I actually looked it up and I found the name of the album. It's I Like It When You Sleep, For You Are So Beautiful, Yet So Unaware of It.
Okay. Oh, because you got roofied. Bad.
That's so funny, guys. Boyz II Men, the popular answer.
Nice.
Nice.
Well,
nice.
should we keep talking about animalistic behavior? Going to the next QOTD? We are talking about zoo animals, actually. If you were a zookeeper, which animal would be your best friend? That was the QOTD. I'm going with chicken. I think it's in like a petting zoo part of the zoo, but not only are chickens delicious, but they're also super therapeutic, or so I hear. I don't know if you guys know anyone who owns chickens, but I do, and people talk to the chickens, and apparently they have like this super calming effect. I've never owned one, but I would like to see what it's all about.
I think they're just foul.
Nice.
Yeah, they're like,
nice.
what is that like what are those little animals with the great big eyes that like to, you know, the little furry guys?
Like monkeys?
Lemurs, but the little
chinchillas?
Yeah, maybe a chinchilla. I don't know. I don't know, man. I said snake. I said anaconda, boa constrictor, because they could give you big hugs, but I was kind of kidding around. I need something furry. Like I would want to like hang with like in the wolf den, because those guys like they're very sort of they're social and human like in that sense, you know. I mean, they don't want to hang out with you, but I could like be near them. Not with them, but near them, and I think that I would gain comfort and inspiration from their humanity-ish.
Nice, nice. I am saying bear because if not meant to be friend, then why big, furry, and friend-shaped?
Why so big and cute?
Yes.
I'm with you.
It's cruel. It's actually cruel. It's like one of the great injustices of this earth.
That bears are in zoos.
That we're not supposed to hug them.
Bears or zoos.
Bears. Like we're not supposed to hug bears because they're dangerous, but they're so big and cute and cuddly.
So they say, but in Russia, they like keep them as pets.
I don't know. I've seen many bears in the wild. here in New Jersey, we have the densest bear population in the country. And so you do see them all the time, but I'm terrified of them. I wouldn't want to hunt a bear.
Yeah. Okay. To each their own. Well, I think we have some answers coming in from fans, so let's see what they have to say about this question. Who is their animal BFF?
If I was a zookeeper, I would definitely be best friends with a chimpanzee. Let me explain why. Chimpanzees are very similar to humans. They have great senses of humor, just like me. And they enjoy being malicious and harassing guests, which is probably what I would like to do. So for me, it would be a chimpanzee.
He's a poop thrower, Hector.
Hector's prepared to be a menace to society.
All the animals would be my favorite, except for the snakes. I would avoid them at all costs. All the animals get a bit lonely, and I think they all deserve some love. But if I'm being honest, I would say I give the elephants a little bit of favoritism.
A lot to commend them to be, though.
If I was a zookeeper, which animal would be my best friend? And hopefully this zoo was more on the reptile side of things. So there'd be a crocodile in there. And that's pretty much all I spend my time in there, would be in the croc pen, just feeding him things to death roll, let him have the best life, feeding him chickens, whatever he wants, just feed him, make him become big, and then my life, that's how I want to end my life, is being death rolled by my croc. Be a perfect ending.
Yikes.
Yeah, they all love crocs. I don't know why.
If I were a zookeeper, I'd probably be in the petting zoo area, where the best friend that I would have would be a bunny.
Like the chicken, delicious.
Oh no.
Sorry, Andrew. I wouldn't eat your bunny.
I were a zookeeper.
Turtle.
My best friend in the zoo would be because lions, they're just so powerful and strong. I feel like it would be a fun idea to be best friends with a lion.
The lion.
Roar.
Remember the pride. Yeah.
I think giraffes would probably be my best friends because I can totally relate to them. Like, I am very tall, so I just understand the tall life, and I can totally relate to being asked, like, "Oh my God, how's the weather up there?" Like, we would just vibe, me and the giraffes.
I think that's a pretty good answer. I mean, we don't spend that much time relating to giraffes, but they, I think, would be like, they're social, they're kind of like horses, and we know that horses are super affectionate, and there's a lot there. Guys, it's time to vote. There are blue buttons across the bottom of your screen. If you are on BeOnTheAir.com, there are. Otherwise, if you are on, let's just say, YouTube, where so many of our hundreds of thousands of fans are, there's a link in the chat. You can click on that, and that will open up a screen that enables you to vote. And when you vote, your answers count right now. This is a live show, friends. And so the winner that you pick will be the winner and make it to the finals. How exciting for them.
Can you remind me again what animal Becca chose?
Becca chose the giraffe.
Have I been pronouncing that wrong my entire life?
What have you been saying?
Giraffe.
Oh, yeah, no. No, it's like the giraffe, the one with the long neck, right?
Naturally. No, I say giraffe.
Giraffe, the giraffe? I don't know why. There's probably like some like Monty Python routine where they talk about giraffes. So Michael's like, A, no snakes. B, what's wrong with a heffalump? I mean, an elephant. That's what you people say, right? Elephant. The heffalump. Because it's like, and they are, apparently they're like incredibly affectionate. They have like long-term relationships, at least the ladies do, they really like they're tight. You know, so I think that would be really cool. I would love to be accepted by a group of elephants.
Well, Keith, what was your reaction to Michael saying no snakes as a person who wants a boa constrictor as a friend?
I was kind of kidding about snakes. Snakes, by the way, snakes and chickens are like two animals. I don't want to say I can't abide them because I respect them and I do eat them, but I'm not like, I don't want to cuddle with a snake or any bird. You know, though I respect birds, but they're filthy. And when I was saying that they were foul, that was both truthy and fun.
I'm in such agreement with you about the birds, and something about the eye beak combination. It's a little eerie. Like I couldn't stare at a chicken's face for too long.
Yeah, they are ugly, no doubt. But I do have some in my fridge right now. Not the weirdest thing in my fridge, maybe. But that was our question for our fans. We wanted to know, what's something weird that's in your fridge right now? Preferably, we wanted them to show us.
Yes. This is actually today's QOTD.
Yeah. Plenty of time.
Yes, you still have time to show us. But it's not that weird. I have some, facial things in my fridge. I have a face mask and a face roller. But lately, I've been adding to my routine.
I have ice in my fridge, too.
It's crazy, I know.
That's not that weird, though. I have Darth Vader ice cubes in my fridge.
Oh, that's
a
little...
I like it in my nighttime cocktail because he's got that big helmet on. It makes like a good surface area for whiskey.
Nice nerd nightcap.
This helmet is my nightcap.
Well, I think we have some answers coming in from viewers, so let's see what very weird things they have in their fridges. I have taken a look at some of these answers already, and spoiler alert, it can get pretty weird. So let's see.
Show us the weirdest thing in your refrigerator. Oh, I don't actually have anything interesting at the moment. I'm traveling at the moment, so I'm in North Macedonia today, and all I have in there is a bottle of water because it's real freaking hot here, and I have a Kit Kat too. So it's kind of it though. Nothing exciting, unfortunately.
So the lack of items is also weird. Water and a Kit Kat.
The weirdest thing in my refrigerator, not something too weird, but this one is a bag of a bunch of different sauces like ketchup, soy sauce, some Shin ramen packets, maybe some mustard as well.
Okay, so the weird thing is none of those need to be in the fridge. You stick on the shelf.
Okay, so I can't really show the weirdest thing in my refrigerator right now because I am not near my refrigerator, but I would probably say the weirdest thing would probably be my Chick-fil-A sauce. It just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like I shouldn't have it there. It feels like I'm stealing the secret formula or something. It just doesn't feel right.
I believe they sell it at like Target.
Not weird. Not that weird is what you're saying.
The weirdest thing that I have in my refrigerator, personally, I think all my items that I have in my fridge are quite normal. But if I have to point out the one that I think would be the weirdest, it would be bok choy. It's basically Chinese vegetable shape. It's kind of weird. That's what I can think of.
That's not bad. I mean,
everything in my fridge is quite normal looking.
It's about context, right? Could be weird if you're in my neighborhood.
So I don't know if it's counts in my freezer, but my roommate has a bag of frozen avocados. You want to try this one? Smoothies. You can make smoothies with them. All right.
It's probably part of his facial routine.
That's a weapon.
So one of the weirdest things I have in my fridge is taco seasoning. I have a bunch and different flavors, different spice level. I love Mexican food. I love, so.
Again, doesn't need to be refrigerated.
Right, that's the weird part.
Yeah.
Wow. So I cannot believe that the placenta answer did not make it to the finals. Amazing to me. Yeah. So, but we got to vote for what we got to vote for here, right? Is it going to be Patrick and water, or the condiments that Andrew's got? Becca's got some Chick-fil-A sauce. She's got the secret recipe there. Way's got some bok choy, which is sort of like an eclectic vegetable here in the United States. Many parts of it anyway. Chris, frozen avocados. Why? We're not sure. Shiv says she's got taco seasoning in her fridge. Shiv, you can put that on a shelf, but maybe it's like it's just more convenient for her to have them there, because then the way they're right next to the pico de gallo, which is also important for your tacos.
Yeah, sometimes it's a mental thing too. Like if I don't see it in the fridge, I'll forget it's there.
Well, maybe you don't have that many cabinets. Maybe you've got more space in your fridge because it's not full of frozen avocados, and so that's the place to put it. Yeah.
True.
We got to vote for one of these guys. Click on the blue buttons on the bottom of your screen. You can click on a link in chat if you're on YouTube, and that'll open up a page where you can vote.
Yes. Let us know. Yeah, I'm also very shocked that the placenta answer didn't make it in. That's pretty wild.
But that's
I think
only, yeah, I'm telling you, next week.
The frozen cados.
The frozen cados.
That I'm telling you.
Like that.
H2 avocado.
Yeah. They had a.
Avocado,
They
no.
Go on, Trish. Try to say it again.
You guys don't want me on the show anymore. I'm getting it. I just liked it because he did a little teamwork for his video. That's all I was trying to say.
And he did actually, he was standing in his kitchen and he was holding the bag, so we actually got to see in his fridge, which was one of the goals of this thing, of this question. By the way, our questions often have like agendas, right? Our agendas are often to see like, hey, just show us your house, show us your friends, show us your pet, and then we come up with a question to help you do that. And that was this one. We want to see and share with how do we all live, right? I had pictures that I had taken of mine. I had way too many pumpkin pies, but yeah, I think it's really, really interesting just to kind of be able to share more than just our faces and answers sometimes. Right? I want to see people's gardens and what do they care about and who are their friends.
Yeah. No, it's just mentioned, not only did we see inside of his fridge, we also saw his friend. We saw a little bit of him.
Yeah. No wonder he won.
Exactly. Well, that was this question was actually the last question of the week. We've gone through all 7 questions, which means there's only one more thing to do, and that is choose the champion for the week in our winner rounds. Woo whoop. Woohoo! So, basically what's going to happen is we're going to do a quick review of all of the winners that we've had so far for the show, and then we're going to let everyone vote on who they think had the best answer of the entire week, the best of the best. It's going to be exciting.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. So yeah, let's do a quick review.
On the top of my head, I will go with the album Evolution by Boyz II Men.
Annabelle's answering the question, what is the best makeout album of all time?
If you could be told when you're going to die, what do you want to know? Honestly, I will actually want to know, yes, because I will know how to prepare myself to deal with my death. But that is inevitable, right? It comes to each of us at any point in time. So, yeah, I will actually want to know.
So Mishak has given a strong answer to the question of, if you could know your moment of your death, would you like to know that?
Your kids in full-time online school. Is it the future of education? Personally, I will not enroll my kids in online school full-time because, however, it have some pros and cons of online schooling, but for me, one thing, and this plays a big part in the personal development of a child, is social, physical interaction. Because I believe it will teach you to have a better understanding of people and their like how to understand people's emotions and different types of people and how to deal with them as you go along in life. So like you will have a better understanding of how to interact with people if all you understand what I'm trying to say, and it will just have a better impact on your future knowing how to interact with people physically.
Back to Makeout album. Mishak is answering the question. If you could send your kids to online school, would you?
Dwayne Johnson in my team if any apocalypse is to happen because, well, he's built different.
Yeah, so John is answering the question. What celebrity would you want to have on your zombie apocalypse survival squad?
I had a dream why my grandmom died. On waking up, my grandmom was seriously ill. She died 5 days after.
I'm telling you, proof that the world is bigger than we think. Veronic's answering the question, do you ever dream that came true?
Animals would be my favorite, except for the snakes. I would avoid them at all costs. All the animals get a bit lonely, and I think they all deserve some love. But if I'm being honest, I would say I give the elephants a little bit of favoritism.
So Michael's answering the question, if you were a zookeeper, who would be your best?
All right, so I don't know if this
buddy?
counts because it's in my freezer, but my roommate has a bag of frozen avocados. You want to explain this one? Apparently you can make smoothies with them. All right.
So Chris is answering the question, what's the weirdest thing in your fridge? That's odd. That is very odd. Well, shall we vote? Whoever you vote for will be the champion of the week. Just click on one of the blue buttons on the bottom of your screen. And Mike, by the way, if you're watching us on YouTube and you don't know how to vote, there's a link in the chat that you can click on that opens up a voting screen that's on BeOnTheAir.com. And then you can just vote and go back and continue watching on YouTube if that is your want.
Or you could have one tab with YouTube open and another tab with the website open.
Might, or you could just dream it and it might come true. Yeah. But there were a lot of good answers. I think that there were like a surprising number of kind of thoughtful questions this week among our many Fs.
Oh, yeah.
Mishak did really well this week.
I know, that doesn't happen a lot.
There he is.
So, I wonder which question that was. I think it's online school is my guess. But anyway, Mishak, you are number one. Thank you so much for participating. And thanks to everybody who voted, watched, and recorded, and shared a little bit of themselves here on QOTD, the Question of the Day show.
Yeah. And also demonstrated that if you record multiple answers to multiple questions, you do increase your chance of winning at this show.
Yes. So. You get more at-bats, which is a baseball reference if you're coming from someplace that's not a baseball country. So this is the end of the week. We've gone through all of the questions for this week. Thursday is the end of our week. Friday is the beginning of the next week. And so in a few hours, we're going to be starting off with the next week's question of the day, which of course culminates in the Thursday Big Show, which is going to be this time next week, 8:30 a.m., 12:30 Greenwich Mean Time on Thursday, where you can all find out who the big winners are. But before then, what you should be doing is recording so that you can be on the air in our Thursday Big Show, broadcast across the internet, across the globe, maybe even broader than that, who knows. But so maybe we should give our loyal viewers like a little leg up by giving them a question or two, maybe that they could start thinking about now in order to improve their odds. What do you guys think?
All right, I think we can do that. We've got a really great set of questions for next week. It's about slick inventions and self-improvement and super pets.
Oh yeah, I like all the pet questions.
Mm-hmm. Our first one is about an animal as well. And, maybe if you were to pass and you were to be reincarnated as any animal, we're wondering what it would be. That is your next clue.
So it could be your zoo buddy answer.
Mm-hmm.
Some might say the giraffe, the heffalump, the hamster, hey? Or it might be a more of a domestic animal. I guess humans are animals too, but you'd have to justify that, right? But so yeah, that'll be a good one. I can't wait to hear what people have to say. I'm thinking about my answer right now, but I don't have it yet. I'm also working on my answer to the other question about the invention that you were hinting at. Like, what's the invention that you would bring back to the past if you were a time traveler? That would totally blow people away.
Yeah, that's another good one. It's a great set this week.
Yeah,
true. As always. Well, I think we have introduced next week's questions, so I think that it will do for us for this week's Big Show. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for today's Big Show. We really enjoyed having you here. And thank you, of course, to everyone who's watched, voted, and recorded. We are QOTD and BeOnTheAir.com signing off. And we will see you at next week's Big Show, at the recap shows for next week, and, of course, on TV. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Ciao.